Hey, my name is Tim Sykes, and I want to introduce you to my newest newsletter, Tim Long Term. Due to great demand, people want longer term plays, and they want them to be longs, not shorts. Mainly, I'm known as a short seller and a short term trader, but I've actually made over $1 million going long. So this is not a new strategy for me, it's just a new newsletter. The website will be profitly/long. And I want to tell you a little bit about myself in case you don't know. I grew my $12,415 in bar mitzvah gift money into a fully audited pre-tax sum of $1.65 million during high school and college, 1999 and 2002, trading penny stocks, both long and short. I started a hedge fund right out of college, and I became the #1 ranked short bias hedge fund manager by Barclay for 2003 to 2006. I starred in the hit TV show Wall Street Warriors in 2007, which is now in 22 countries. I suggest you watch it. It's pretty funny. And because of that TV show, I gained a lot of notoriety. A lot of people wanted to, learn how do you turn a few thousand into a few million. So I became a teacher, and I showed all of my trades on a website called Covestor, and I became the #1 trader out of 60,000 on Covestor from 2007 to 2011 when they ranked all those traders, because I detailed how I went back to my $12,415 and I turned it into over $230,000 in 4 years using a simple brokerage account, just Thinkorswim and Interactive Brokers, again, long and short. I also wrote the best-selling book, An American Hedge Fund, detailing my journey and my ups and my downs, and now I have thousands of students in over 60 countries, and I've made over $3 million now trading penny stocks. I mostly hold stocks for a few hours or days, which has been very short term, but every now and then, especially lately, I see greater long-term buys. So the bull market and my students wanting longs instead of shorts led me to create Tim Long Term. You got to go where the demand is. Literally, because of the TV show, I started teaching, and because of this bull market, and because some of these plays that I'm trading, in the initial alerts, I'm saying, look, like I'm trading this short term, but I think this might also be a good long-term buy. So you have to adapt, and that's what Tim Long Term is all about, adapting to demand in the current market, because there's a lot of money to be made, a lot more money to be made, and it's easier to just hold for a few days, a few weeks, a few months even. So it's going to be, Tim Long Term is long picks only, no shorts, because I know shorting is very confusing to some of you guys, and it's not as easy as any of us wish. And the holding period will be a few days, weeks, or even a few months. I can't predict exactly how many longer term stock picks there will be per month, but roughly 3 to 6, consider it 1 a week. And there's also going to be weekly watch lists of 10 to 30, maybe even 40 or 50 stocks that I might potentially buy. I have a whole team dedicated to researching these longer term plays that I've built up over the past few years. So we have a nice research team, and I'm just going to highlight in one watch list per week all of the potential buys, and then you'll also get the alerts via email and text message when I actually do buy. There's also going to be weekly video lessons on how to research and interesting story stocks, and whenever I think that there's something interesting that's worth learning from, because I want you to learn too. This isn't just like, oh, I'm just going to give you picks and make you a lot of money. Yes, that is the goal, but I also want you to learn and be self-sufficient too. So who is Tim Long Term for? Lazy people. My team and I do the research and the stock picking for you. And maybe you're not lazy, maybe you're busy. It's for busy people too. I understand you guys have lives, and it's tough to be at your computer every second of every day. So these longer term picks are much better suited for you. And again, we're going to hold for a few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe even a few months instead of like day trading. You'll never see me say, look, this is a long-term pick and I'm out in an hour or two. That's not what this is about. And this is also for people who want to focus on buying only, not shorting. The goal is to find stocks that can spike significantly over a few days, weeks, and months. PAMT, ONVO, NTE, BLIN, those were all 100% plus winners. And then I also had MITK, which is a 50% winner for the past few months. So roughly a huge winner each of the last few months. And I said in the initial alerts, PAMT, I said this was going to be the strongest stock for all of March 2013, and I was dead on right. It doubled. And I sold out too quickly. I still made $20,000, so don't cry for me. but I have a sense when a stock can be a longer term trade too. Sometimes I'll have a short term and a long term pick, but obviously the longer term pick is you're going to try and hold it for many days or weeks. So with this long term newsletter, there's no monthly subscriptions. The focus is building your account size over the course of a year. I don't want you thinking, oh, I'm just going to try this for a month. No, this is a commitment, okay? I'm going to be working my butt off. I have hired people to work their butts off for you. We're going to find every single good opportunity for low price stocks. Consistency and longevity are the keys to true stock market success. Too many of you just try it for a few days or a few weeks, and then you're like, it's not for me. Nothing comes that easy, okay? This is a learning process. The stock market isn't an exact science. You need to take time. So that's what we're going to do for you. We're going to try and take the time, and we're going to do all the work. And I'm going to give you the keys to the kingdom. Because again, unlike most newsletter writers, I don't want you to be dependent on me. Over the course of the year, ideally, by the end of the year, you're like, Tim, you know what? I already know everything. Thanks to all your videos and watch lists and alerts, I see what you're getting at. I can do this on my own. That would be fantastic. I would love to put myself out of business. I would get more sleep. And also I know that there's always going to be good demand for good products and good research. So don't worry about me. I want you to be self-sufficient and making a ton of money, not just making a ton of money like most. So here's a chart of ONVO. I just want to show you a few picks that I've had over the past few months. These aren't even updated charts. I just took some screenshots and I posted them on like Twitter or Facebook and Instagram. These were two buy signals that I gave at 219 and like at 230ish, and I sold a little too early. I barely made any money, but I said this was going to be a longer term speculative buy, and the stock tripled in basically a month. And you can see some of my people made money. This guy said he made $1,800. He bought at 219 and he sold at 230. He's one of my challenge students. He had 20,000 shares. He bought right when I did. He made $1,800 in 3 days back around Christmas in 2012. Had he held, he could have made $60,000. That's almost $60,000, like 55. That's freaking fantastic. And that just shows you the need for this longer term newsletter, because I had the alert right, but we weren't focused on longer term trading. This is why Tim long term, it gets you in the mentality of holding longer, because that's what the alert says. And there's also going to be position sizing. I'll have a $100,000 account for this long term strategy so that I won't take too big of a position and be like, oh, I've just made so much money in a day, I'm going to sell. The focus really is going to be on the longer term. Here's one guy who actually did better. Small position, just 1,700 shares. So at 380, we're talking less than $8,000, and he made $2,000 on his money, 33% in just a week. And at least he bought it in the threes and sold in the fives, so he held longer. Overall, my students and I had about 300 trades on ONVO, and we made over $50,000, 70% winning. Pretty damn good, but not great. We should have made a lot more. Had I held my initial position, I would have made over $200,000. So that's what this newsletter is all about, trying to capture more of the opportunity that exists thanks to this bull market. Here's another stock that I nailed. This is PAMT. This is the chart. I had two buy alerts right here at the breakout in the low 10s, and then I also bought in the 11s. And I didn't hold. I made $20,000. My students made over $100,000. I actually made more on the shorting side when I shorted and I correctly called the top at that point. But it later went up to 20. So 10 to 20 in 1 month, that's an ideal situation. That's what we're looking for. And I outlined it. I mean, if you type in parametric sound research report or parametric sound Timothy Sykes, you'll see my research report that was on February 25th, I want to say, 2013. And I said, this will be the strongest stock of March 2013 because the CEO has, promised these licensing deals, which he actually didn't deliver on. Understand, it's not an exact science. I'm not going to get every prediction right, but my research was dead on that the stock would rise in anticipation of those licensing deals, whether or not they actually announced it. And the interesting thing is, yesterday, April 5th, the company did announce their deal with McDonald's through an SEC filing. So they missed on the timing, but the stock doubled. You get the idea. It was a good pick. Here's one guy, he made $5,700. He left $10,000 plus on the table. He's also one of my challenge students. He bought in the 16s and sold in the 18s. That's fantastic. Making 10%, or nearly 12% in a week. Here is another Tim Trading Challenge student. I have the Trading Challenge, which I mentor students, but that's focused on short-term trading. This is longer-term trading. And this guy held for an entire month, buying at 10 and selling at 14. He still missed the top by $6 a share, but at least he made 40% on his money, which is fantastic. And overall, we made over $107,000 on PAMT so far. There's still more to, the stock market never closes. It's not like a closed cut case. I mean, it keeps going. But this was fantastic, where my students and I made over $100,000. And why make money? I want to show you just a few things that you can do with the money, just to inspire you. I just moved to Miami Beach. I have a nice boat, a place right on the water. I've got some nice watches. You can see I'm getting in shape. I've lost a lot of weight. I have a nice car. This is my orange Lamborghini Gallardo, and my friends seem to like it. We have a little fun in it. I also get to travel. I get to work from anywhere in the world. This is my favorite thing in the world. I'm actually going back to Japan this summer, and I'm going to go to the south of France later this summer, and maybe even Croatia. I don't know. I have a lot of things. I've been to over 77, actually I think now over 80 countries. I got to update my spreadsheet. But there's Wi-Fi everywhere, and you can work from anywhere. And once you have the money and the means and the independence, you don't need to be stuck in your cubicle. You don't care about having, boss. I know many of you guys have bosses and you hate them, but you can't talk back to them because you can't afford to lose your job. You can't even go to Italy. Look at me. I'm working. There's actually great Wi-Fi right here. So as long as you have your phone on or your computer on, you're going to get an email and a text message of any alerts. And you'll also get the weekly watch list. So you might not even need my alerts because let's say on a Sunday, usually the watch list will come out over the weekend and prepare you for the coming week. And I might say, watch this stock. If it breaks $5 a share, I'm going to buy it. And you might not have to wait for my actual alert because you already know what I'm going to do. That's the cool thing. My best students are able to predict my trades, and hopefully you will too, because I share my entire strategy. I also have a little fun. This is me and my cute date eating sushi courtside at the Miami Heat game. We're sitting right next to LeBron James' manager. I just like showing the fact that you can eat sushi. It's actually pretty good sushi. And sitting courtside, I'm spoiled. I can't even not sit courtside anymore. I enjoy my money, and I want you to enjoy your money too. That's why I want to make you more. Some of you guys say that it's too superficial and blah, blah, blah. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, okay? If you want to focus on other stuff and you want to be poor for the rest of your life, by all means, that's great. Enjoy your families, enjoy your friends. But I'm here to teach you how to make money because I've made millions of dollars for myself and now my students. I've made over $3 million, but if you look at all my newsletters on Profitly, you can see that I've made my students over $7.5 million. That's fantastic. My students are doing better than me. And that's what I want. I want us all to make millions because guess what? I want my testimonials. I have an upcoming book, 2 books actually, and an upcoming TV show. And the more testimonials that I have, the better. And I don't fake anything. All my students are real. All the profits, you can see them trade for trade on Profitly. And this is why I get to have a little luxury. This is me taking a jet. I like private jets. It's much more convenient. It's much more luxurious and efficient. And it's just, a sign to yourself that you made it when you can, live better than most. Contrary to what some people think. I mean, you have one life to live, and you want to make the most of it. And what I've learned is that the stock market can really do that for you. So that's what Tim Long-Term is all about, where, because of the market and because I know many of you guys don't like shorting, I'm coming out with this newsletter, and it's going to change a lot of lives. I think it's a great baby step. Maybe eventually you'll want a short-term trade once you see how much money you can make with this, or vice versa. Maybe you've made a lot of money. I have had already over a dozen students in 2013 in just 3 months have made over $50,000. So they're each making $10,000 plus. 2 students in particular, I got to call them out, Tim Grittani, Mark Crook, they're each making $30,000 plus a month. And that's what I want for you. So this long-term newsletter, a little bit different, but it's the same kinds of stocks, and we're just going to try and make more and capitalize on this bull market. So I hope you enjoy the research and the picks, and I'm going to work my butt off for you. Thank you very much.